I'm Rachel Morrison, 34 years old. 2 months ago, I woke up in a hospital bed with 3 broken ribs and a collapsed lung to discover that my newborn daughter had spent her first night on Earth with a stranger because my own mother chose a blackjack table over her granddaughter. For 9 years, I'd been secretly sending my parents $4,500 every month. That's $486,000, nearly $500,000. Not once did anyone say thank you. Then came the night I lay dying in an emergency room while my mother told my husband, "Rachel always has these emergencies. Tyler's sister never has these problems." 3 hours later, I canceled every single transfer, and my grandfather, a man I hadn't seen in 4 years, walked into my hospital room carrying a folder that would change everything. But before I tell you what happened that night, let me take you back 9 years. Back to the day I made the first transfer that started it all. I was 25 years old, sitting cross-legged on the hardwood floor of my studio apartment, staring at my laptop screen like it held the secrets of the universe. In a way, it did. My first real paycheck. Not an internship stipend, not a work-study check with half going to tuition. My first actual salary as a junior financial consultant at Morrison & Associates. The irony of the company sharing my last name wasn't lost on me, though we weren't related to the founders. I'd worked my ass off for this job, beaten out 43 other candidates, and proved that a state school graduate could compete with the Ivy Leaguers. The number glowed on the screen. After taxes, after my minimal 401k contribution after health insurance, $3,847.52, all mine. I did the math I'd been doing for weeks. Rent, $950. Student loan minimum payment, $340. Groceries, $200 if I was careful. Utilities, $80. Phone, $65. Gas, $100. That left me with roughly $2,100 for everything else. Savings, emergency fund, maybe, finally, new tires for my 2008 Honda Civic with its 140,000 miles and worrying, grinding noise. I was calculating how quickly I could build up 6 months of expenses when my phone rang. 11:47 p.m. Mom. My stomach clenched. Catherine Morrison didn't call at midnight unless something was wrong. I grabbed my phone from the coffee table, a milk crate covered with a vintage scarf I'd found at Goodwill. Mom? Rachel. Her voice cracked like ice over a frozen lake. She was crying. "Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry to call so late. I didn't know who else." "What's wrong? What happened?" I was already standing, already looking for my shoes, my keys, my coat. "It's your father." A sob, wet and desperate. "He had a stroke, honey. We're at Denver General right now." The world tilted. "What? When? Is he—" "This afternoon, around 3. He was in the garage working on that old workbench and he just collapsed. Our neighbor heard the noise and called 911. Even though she sucked in a shaking breath. "The doctors say it was minor, a TIA they called it, a mini stroke. He's stable now, but Rachel—" "I'm coming. I can be there in 20 minutes. No, don't. Visiting hours are over. He's sleeping anyway, and you have work tomorrow, don't you? Your big job?" I sank back down to the floor. "I don't care about work. Dad had a stroke. It's okay. It's going to be okay." But her voice said it wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. "The doctors say he should recover fully, but he'll need physical therapy, and monitoring, and medications." Another pause. "Honey, I need to tell you something." The way she said it made my chest tight. "Your father and we don't have very good insurance. The plan from his warehouse job, it barely covers anything. They're saying the hospital bill alone could be $20,000, and that's before the medications, the therapy, the follow-up appointments." Her voice dropped to almost a whisper. "And we're already 3 months behind on the mortgage. The bank sent a letter last week about foreclosure proceedings." I felt like I was falling. My parents had always been careful with money, frugal. My dad had worked at the same warehouse distribution center for 28 years. Mom had done bookkeeping for a small business until 5 years ago when they downsized. They'd always made it work. "How did it get so bad?" I asked. Your father's hours got cut 2 years ago, then cut again last year. We've been trying to keep up, but she made a sound between a laugh and a sob. We didn't want to worry you. You were in school, building your career. We're supposed to take care of you, not the other way around. Mom? But I don't know what else to do. The mortgage is $1,800 a month, and we're already so far behind. And now with your father's medical bills. She was crying harder now. I hate asking you this. You just started working. But Rachel, sweetie, you're the only one who can help us. Ashley can barely keep herself afloat, and your grandfather, well, you know how he is. I did know, or I thought I did. Grandfather Benjamin had always been distant, busy with his foundation work, his legal consulting, his life that didn't include us much. Mom always said he was too wrapped up in his own world to care about family. How much do you need? The words came out before I could think them through. She hesitated. Masterclass in manipulation, though I wouldn't recognize it for years. I couldn't ask you to... Mom, how much? $2,000 a month would cover the mortgage and some of the medical bills, just for a little while until your father gets back on his feet and can work again. Maybe 6 months? A year at most? She rushed on before I could answer. I know it's a lot, Rachel. I know you probably can't afford it. Forget I asked. We'll figure something else out. I can do $2,000. I was already opening my laptop, pulling up my bank account. I'd have $1,847.52 left. I could make that work. I'd have to. I'll set up a monthly transfer tonight. Rachel, are you sure? I don't want you to struggle. I'm sure, Mom. You and Dad have always been there for me. This is what family does, right? The silence on the other end lasted just a beat too long. Then, you're saving our lives, sweetheart. I don't know how to thank you. But she didn't say thank you. Not then, not ever. There's one more thing, she added, her voice dropping. Maybe don't mention this to your father when you talk to him. He would be so ashamed, Rachel. So humiliated that his daughter has to bail him out. You know how proud he is. This would just destroy him while he's trying to recover. Okay, I said. I won't say anything. This can just be between us, our little arrangement. Just until he's better. I agreed. Of course I agreed. What kind of daughter wouldn't help her family? I set up the automatic transfer that night. The confirmation email arrived at 12:17 a.m. I crawled into bed at 1 a.m., feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time around my mother. Needed, useful, important. My phone buzzed with a text. I assumed it would be Mom, saying thank you, saying she loved me, saying something. It was Ashley. OMG, look what Mom got me! Best mom ever! And below was a photo. My 20-year-old sister grinning at the camera, holding up a leather handbag. Not just any handbag. I recognized the interlocking LV logo even in the grainy phone photo, the caption she'd posted to Instagram. Mom knows I needed some retail therapy after my breakup. Love her so much. #blessed, #best mom. I stared at that photo for 5 full minutes. The bag cost at least $1,500, probably more. The same night my mother had called me crying about mortgage payments and medical bills, she'd bought Ashley a Louis Vuitton bag. I started to scroll to Mom's contact, stopped, started again, stopped. Maybe Ashley was exaggerating. Maybe it was a knockoff. Maybe Mom had been saving up for months for Ashley's birthday. Maybe the breakup had been really bad and Ashley needed cheering up. Maybe I was being selfish, begrudging my little sister one nice thing when I was about to start making real money. Maybe. I told myself it was nothing. Told myself I was overthinking it. Told myself that families helped each other, and this was what helping looked like. That was the first lie I told myself. It wouldn't be the last. Rachel Morrison, financial analyst, read the nameplate on my new cubicle. Analyst, not consultant. I'd been promoted after 1 year, the fastest promotion in my department's history. My salary jumped to $67,000. After taxes and benefits, my monthly take-home was now $4,100. I was sitting in my car in the parking garage, eating a protein bar for lunch and looking at my bank account on my phone. It was a habit I'd developed. Check the account, do the math, make sure everything balanced. The monthly transfer to Mom had increased twice. First time was month 6. Rachel, honey, the physical therapy is more expensive than we thought, and your father needs a new recliner. The physical therapist says his back support is crucial for recovery. Is there any way you could make it $2,500 just for a few months? I'd said yes. Second time was month 14. Sweetheart, Ashley wants to take an online marketing course. She finally found her passion, social media influencing. The course is only $1,200 total, but we'd need to pay it monthly. Could you possibly do $3,200 for the next 6 months? I'd said yes to that too. The course had ended 4 months ago. The transfer amount never went back down. I was now sending my mother $3,200 every month, $38,400 a year, more than half my salary after basic expenses. I'd canceled my gym membership, stopped eating out, bought generic everything, picked up freelance consulting work on weekends, financial planning for small businesses, budget analysis, anything that paid. I was working 70-hour weeks just to make the numbers work. My phone rang. Tyler. I smiled despite the exhaustion. Hey, you, I answered. Hey, yourself. Still up for tonight? His voice was warm, easy. We'd been dating for 4 months and he made me feel like I could breathe. That new Thai place opened on 16th Street. I made a reservation. Actually, I looked at my account balance. $847 until next paycheck. Could we maybe do something cheaper? I was thinking we could cook at my place? Sure. No judgment in his voice. Everything okay? Yeah, just trying to save money. For the house fund? We'd been talking about maybe, eventually, moving in together. Getting a place with actual space, maybe a yard. That's smart. I've been saving too. Guilt twisted in my stomach. I hadn't saved anything in 18 months. Every extra dollar went to my parents. Yeah, I lied. For the house fund. We made plans to cook together and I hung up feeling like a fraud. I opened Instagram. Mistake. Ashley's latest post from 3 days ago. Photo of her at some trendy Denver brunch spot, mimosa in hand, wearing a dress I recognized from Anthropology. Caption. Sunday fun day! Mom treated me to brunch because I've been so stressed with job hunting. Best Mom Award. Job hunting. Ashley had been job hunting for 2 years. As far as I could tell, she'd never actually applied anywhere. I kept scrolling. 2 weeks ago, Ashley at Red Rocks Amphitheater, concert tickets that cost at least $90. 1 month ago, Ashley with a new iPhone, the latest model. 2 months ago, Ashley at a spa, getting her nails done, captioned, Much needed self-care day with Mom. My phone buzzed, text from Mom. Mom, just wanted to remind you the transfer is tomorrow. Your father's new medication is very expensive. Thank you for being such a good daughter. I wanted to screenshot Ashley's brunch photo and send it back. Wanted to ask how they could afford mimosas and designer dresses if money was so tight. Wanted to ask a lot of things. Instead, I typed, Me. Of course, Mom. Anything you need. Mom, you're not like your sister. Ashley is so sensitive. She needs more support. You've always been the strong one. I stared at that text for a long time. Strong. That's what I was. Strong enough to work myself into exhaustion. Strong enough to give up everything. Strong enough to not ask questions. Strong enough to ignore what I was seeing. I went to my bank app and checked the total I'd sent so far. $57,600. $57,600. In 18 months. I could have bought a car, could have paid off a third of my student loans, could have built a real emergency fund. Instead, I had $847 and a protein bar for lunch, but I was helping my family. That's what mattered. That's what I kept telling myself. Rachel, we need to talk. Tyler stood in my kitchen. Our kitchen, technically, since we'd moved in together 6 months ago, holding my laptop. His face was careful, the expression he got when he was trying very hard not to start a fight. We'd been together for 2 years, living together for 6 months in a modest 2-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill. We split rent 50-50 even though Tyler made $15,000 more than me. Fair was fair, except nothing about my life was fair anymore. What's wrong? I was washing dishes from the stir-fry we'd made, my hands pruned from the hot water. I was looking for that restaurant wreck you mentioned. I opened your laptop to check your bookmarks, and your bank account was open. He set the laptop on the counter. Rachel, I didn't mean to snoop, but I saw the transaction history. My stomach dropped. Tyler, $4,000 a month, every month, to your mom. He wasn't angry. That would have been easier. He was concerned, gentle, which somehow made it worse. For how long? 4 years. 4 years. He did the math in his head. I watched his eyes widen. Rachel, that's almost $200,000. I know. Does she need that much? Is your dad still recovering? I don't know. The truth slipped out before I could stop it. I don't ask. Tyler pulled out one of our mismatched kitchen chairs and sat down. Can we talk about this? Really talk about it? I dried my hands on a dish towel and joined him at the table, our tiny kitchen table we'd found at an estate sale. We couldn't afford anything else because I was sending my mother $4,000 every month. Your mom called you 3 times last week, Tyler said. And every conversation ended with you looking stressed. Your dad hasn't called you in 6 months. When was the last time you actually saw them? February? I took them to dinner for Dad's birthday. That was 9 months ago, Rachel. I've been busy. You're always busy because you're working freelance every weekend to afford— He gestured at the laptop. This, whatever this is. It's helping my family. Is it? He leaned forward. Rachel, I love you. You know I love you. But I've never seen your mom ask how you're doing. I've never seen her ask about your promotion or your work or your life. At your dad's birthday dinner, she spent 40 minutes talking about Ashley's Instagram follower count. She didn't mention your promotion once. The observation hit like a slap because it was true. I'd been promoted to senior financial analyst in January. When I'd told my mother, she'd said, "That's nice, honey. Oh, speaking of news, Ashley just got verified on Instagram. Can you believe it? My daughter verified." She's just proud of Ashley, I said weakly. What about being proud of you? I didn't have an answer for that. Tyler took my hand across the table. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm really not. But I need to understand this because it affects us. We keep talking about buying a house, but we can't save for a down payment because I'm sending it all to my parents. Yeah. He squeezed my hand. And I know family is important. I know you want to help. But Rachel, we've been putting our life on hold for 4 years. When does it end? When my dad is better? Is he getting better? Or are you just assuming he is because your mom says so? I pulled my hand back. What are you implying? I'm not implying anything. I'm asking. When was the last time you saw your dad? Talked to him directly about his health? Tyler's voice stayed gentle, patient. When was the last time your mom showed you a medical bill? Never. She'd never shown me a bill. I'd just trusted her. You think she's lying? He chose his words carefully. I think your mom is really good at asking for help, and you're really good at giving it, and I think 4 years is a long time to not ask questions. We sat in silence. Outside, a siren wailed past. Someone's emergency. Someone's crisis. Always someone who needed something. What if I stopped? I whispered. What if I cut her off and something happened to Dad? What if he couldn't afford his medications or the mortgage and they lost the house? What if— Then you'd know. Know what? Tyler met my eyes. You'd know what you're actually worth to them, whether they love you or love you for what you can give them. The truth of it hollowed me out. I'm not ready to find out, I said. Okay. He stood, kissed the top of my head. When you are, I'm here. He went to the bedroom. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at my laptop screen. $4,000 a month, times 12 months, times 4 years. $192,000. That number sat in my chest like a stone. I thought about calling my mom, asking to see the medical bills, asking exactly what she was spending the money on. asking why Ashley got brunch dates and spa days while I ate protein bars in parking garages. But I didn't call. Because Tyler was right. I wasn't ready to know. Not yet. I was reorganizing my closet, one of those mindless tasks you do when you're avoiding thinking about bigger things. When I found the box. A shoebox, actually. Nike. Shoved in the back corner under a pile of winter scarves I never wore. I pulled it out, curious. I didn't remember putting it there. Inside, cards. Birthday cards, graduation cards, postcards from places I'd never been, all from the same person. Grandfather Benjamin. I sat cross-legged on my bedroom floor and went through them one by one. Each card had the same neat lawyer's handwriting. Each one signed, Love, Grandpa Ben. 18th birthday. Rachel, congratulations on your acceptance to CU Denver. Your grandmother would be so proud. She always said you had her mind for numbers. If you ever need anything, and I mean truly need, not want, call me. No questions asked. Love, Grandpa Ben. 21st birthday. I hope you're taking time to enjoy these years, not just working through them. You only get one life, Rachel. Make sure it's yours. Love, Grandpa Ben. College graduation. Doctor of Philosophy had a saying, the unexamined life is not worth living. Examine your life, Rachel. Make sure you're living it for the right reasons. I'm proud of you. Love, Grandpa Ben. I held that last card for a long time. I'd received it 4 years ago, right before I started my first job, right before Mom's first call about Dad's stroke. I hadn't seen Grandfather Benjamin since I was 16, 8 years ago. I closed my eyes and pulled up the memory. I was 16, skipping school to attend Grandfather Benjamin's retirement ceremony. He'd been a county judge for 40 years. Mom had said we probably shouldn't go, that Grandpa wouldn't want us there making a fuss. But I'd insisted. Grandpa Ben had always seemed larger than life to me. Tall, silver-haired even in his early 70s, with eyes that didn't miss anything. I'd only seen him maybe a dozen times in my life, but each time he'd looked at me like I mattered, like I was worth paying attention to. The courthouse was packed. Lawyers, other judges, city officials. I stood in the back in my school uniform, feeling out of place. When the ceremony ended, I worked my way through the crowd to find him. Grandpa! He turned and his face lit up. Genuinely lit up. Rachel, you came! Of course I came! I hugged him. He smelled like old books and coffee. He held me at arm's length, studying my face. You're going to do great things, Rachel. Don't let anyone make you small. You hear me? I hear you. Your grandmother used to say you had a gift, the way you see patterns, understand systems. His voice dropped, became more serious. Don't waste that gift trying to fix things that don't want to be fixed. I didn't understand what he meant. Not then. Rachel, Mom's voice, sharp. She appeared at my elbow, already pulling me away. We need to go. You're missing school. Linda. Grandpa Ben's voice cooled about 20 degrees when he looked at my mother. Good to see you. Dad. She didn't meet his eyes. We really do need to go. Of course. He looked back at me. Rachel, you call me if you ever need anything. You have my number. She's fine, Dad. We're all fine. Mom's hand tightened on my arm. Say goodbye, Rachel. Bye, Grandpa. In the car, Mom had been quiet for 5 minutes before saying, Your grandfather doesn't understand our kind of family. He's always been cold, distant, too wrapped up in his legal legacy to care about real people. He seemed nice to me. He has a way of seeming nice. But when your grandmother got sick, where was he? Working. Always working. She died feeling like she came second to his career. Mom's voice was bitter. Don't mistake his charm for actual caring, Rachel. I'd believed her. Why wouldn't I? I pulled out my phone and scrolled to Grandfather Benjamin in my contacts. I'd saved his number from one of the cards years ago but never called. My finger hovered over the call button. What would I even say? Hi, Grandpa. I haven't talked to you in 8 years because Mom said you didn't care about us. But I'm reorganizing my closet and found your cards and realized maybe she was lying about that too. I couldn't do it. Instead, I put the cards back in the box. Put the box back in the closet. But that night, lying in bed next to Tyler's sleeping form, I couldn't stop thinking about Grandpa Ben's words from that last card. Make sure you're living your life for the right reasons. Was I? Or was I living my mother's life on my dime? Benjamin Hayes sat in his leather chair, the one his late wife Margaret had insisted was too expensive but perfect for him. She'd been right. She'd been right about most things. His laptop cast a blue glow across his desk. On the screen, a private investigator's report, the third update this month. He'd hired Janet Carmichael 6 months ago after Catherine had shown up at his house with a proposal. Dad, I've been thinking about your will. They'd been sitting in his living room. She'd brought coffee cake. Store-bought, not homemade, but presented as if she'd baked it herself. Catherine had always been good at presentation. I know you've always planned to split everything between Rachel and Ashley, she'd continued. But I think you should reconsider. Rachel is doing so well. She has a great job, a stable relationship with Tyler. She doesn't need the help. Ashley, on the other hand, Ashley is 25 years old, Benjamin had said carefully. I know, but she's still finding herself. She's sensitive. Not everyone is as driven as Rachel. I think Ashley could really use the support. Maybe you could adjust the will? Give Rachel, say, 25% and Ashley 75%? Benjamin had looked at his daughter and seen a stranger. When had Catherine become this person? Or had she always been this way and he'd refused to see it? I'll think about it, he'd said. Catherine had smiled, triumphant. Thank you, Dad. I knew you'd understand. The moment she'd left, Benjamin had called Janet. I need you to investigate my daughter, Catherine Morrison, and my granddaughter, Rachel Morrison. I need to know what's really going on. Now, 6 months later, he had his answer. The PI report was thorough, brutal even. Financial analysis. Catherine Morrison. Monthly spending average $6,200. A Desert Rose Casino. $2,100 per month average, some months as high as $4,000. Restaurants, Watha Entertainment, $800 per month. Retail, $1,200 per month, primarily Ashley-related purchases. Spa personal care, $400 per month. Household, $1,700 per month income sources. David Morrison, retirement pension, $2,400 per month. Catherine Morrison, bookkeeping part-time, $800 per month. Unknown source, approximately $3,000 per month, suspected family assistance. Benjamin had stared at that last line for a long time. Unknown source, $3,000 a month. He'd asked Janet to dig deeper. The next report had made his blood run cold. Rachel Morrison financial records, obtained through legal means. She'd listed him as an emergency contact on an old credit card application that gave him some access. Monthly transfers to Catherine Morrison, $4,000. Duration, 48 months and counting. Total, $192,000. Benjamin had sat in this very chair, in this very spot, and felt the weight of his own failure. His granddaughter, brilliant, kind Rachel, had been sending her mother $4,000 every month for 4 years, and Catherine had been spending it on casino nights and Louis Vuitton bags for Ashley. He'd wanted to call Rachel immediately, wanted to drive to her apartment and tell her everything, but Janet had advised against it. If you go to her with this, she'll defend her mother. She's not ready to hear it yet. People like Rachel, they need to come to the truth themselves, or they won't believe it. So Benjamin had waited, and watched, and collected evidence. The medical records for David Morrison had been easier to obtain. David's doctor was an old friend from law school. With David's permission, David still had Benjamin listed as an authorized contact from decades ago, never updated. Benjamin had reviewed them. David Morrison medical history. Mini-stroke. TIA. April 2019. Full recovery. December 2019. Current medications. Low-dose aspirin. Basic blood pressure medication. Monthly medication cost, approximately $40. Physical therapy, completed December 2019. Current status, healthy, cleared for full activity. His son-in-law had been fully recovered for nearly 4 years, and Catherine was still taking Rachel's money. Benjamin pulled up Ashley's social media profiles: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. The evidence was all there, public and shameless. Designer bags, spa days, concert tickets, weekend trips to Vail, brunch at expensive restaurants, all time-stamped, geotagged, hashtagged. Hashtag blessed, hashtag best mom, hashtag lucky girl. In the past 6 months alone, Ashley's grateful posts tagged purchases that totaled over $15,000, all while Rachel worked herself to exhaustion. Benjamin made a decision. He opened his desk drawer and pulled out a legal pad, started writing. Last will and testament, draft revisions. He'd give Catherine her rope. Let her think he was considering her proposal, but he'd be ready. The moment Rachel was ready, the moment she saw through the manipulation, he'd be there, with evidence, with proof, with the truth she deserved. His phone buzzed. Text message from an unknown number. Unknown. Mr. Hayes, this is Tyler Morrison, Rachel's boyfriend. I got your number from her contacts. I'm sorry to reach out like this, but I'm worried about Rachel and I don't know who else to talk to. Could we meet? Benjamin stared at the message for a long moment, then typed, Benjamin, coffee tomorrow, 10 a.m. My house. I'll send the address. Maybe Rachel wasn't as alone as Catherine thought. Maybe it was time to stop waiting. The pregnancy test sat on the edge of the bathroom sink, 2 pink lines dark and unmistakable. I was pregnant. Tyler and I had been married for 2 years, together for 6. We'd talked about kids in that abstract, someday when we're ready way. But we'd been waiting to be ready, waiting to have enough saved, waiting to buy a house, waiting for the right time. Except the right time never came because I kept sending my mother $4,500 every month. The number had crept up over the years. Small increments, always with good reasons. Dad needs a new hearing aid. $500 more? The property taxes went up. Can you add another $300? Ashley's car broke down and she needs help with repairs until she finds a job. I'd said yes every time. Because I was strong, because I could handle it, because that's what family did. Now I was 33 years old, pregnant, married to a wonderful man, and I had $4,200 in savings, total, after 8 years of working my ass off. I picked up the test, hands shaking, and walked out to the living room. Tyler was on the couch, laptop balanced on his knees, reviewing code for work. He looked up when he heard me. Hey, everything. He saw my face, saw the test in my hand. Is that? 2 lines. He put the laptop aside carefully, stood up slowly, crossed to me like he was approaching something precious and fragile. 2 lines means pregnant. His eyes filled with tears. Rachel. Oh my God, Rachel! He pulled me into a hug, and I felt his whole body shaking. We're having a baby. I held on to him and let myself cry. Relief, terror, joy. Grief for the life I'd been living that didn't have room for this. We stood in our small living room, the apartment we'd been renting for 4 years because we could never save enough for a house down payment, and cried together. When we finally pulled apart, Tyler cupped my face in his hands. This is amazing. We're having a baby. I know. We need to call our families, tell our parents. Oh God, my mom is going to lose her mind. Tyler. I caught his hand. We need to talk first. Something in my voice made him go still. Okay. We sat on the couch. The same couch we'd had for 6 years because we couldn't afford a new one. The springs were shot on one side. Tyler always sat there so I could have the good side. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, turned it toward him. I need you to really look at this. Not just glance. Really look. He took the phone, scrolled through the transaction history. I watched his face change as he went back month by month. 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 8 years. Jesus, Rachel. His voice was barely a whisper. This is $432,000, give or take. He looked up at me. $432,000? I did the math last night. I've been doing the math for months, actually. Years. I took the phone back. That's a house, Tyler. That's Emma's college fund. We'd already decided if it was a girl, we wanted Emma. That's 10 years of retirement savings. That's almost $500,000. Yeah. We sat in silence. I could hear the neighbor's TV through the thin walls, could hear traffic from the street, could hear Tyler breathing, processing. Rachel, I love you. You know I love you. He took my hand. But we have to talk about this now, before the baby comes. We can't bring a child into this situation. I know. Do we even have money for a crib? For a car seat? Some. We can make it work. By you working freelance until you're 8 months pregnant? By us living paycheck to paycheck? His voice cracked. Rachel, what if something goes wrong with the pregnancy? What if you need bed rest or the baby needs special care? What if I'll reduce the amount I send? The words felt like pulling teeth. I'll tell Mom we need to cut back. Tyler pulled out his laptop. I want to show you something. I've been working on this for a few weeks. He opened a spreadsheet, color-coded, meticulously organized. The title, Our Future Reality Check. He'd tracked everything. Every transfer I'd made, every excuse my mother had given, every social media post from Ashley showing purchases that didn't match someone in financial crisis. June 2019. Your mom says they can't afford the water heater replacement. $3,000. Same month, Ashley posts from Cancun, a week-long trip. Estimated cost $2,500 minimum. He scrolled. October 2020. Your mom says your dad needs expensive physical therapy. $800 a month extra. December 2020. David's medical records. I called his doctor, said I was family. He's been cleared for full activity for over a year. You called his doctor? I'm sorry. I was desperate to understand. Tyler looked at me. Rachel, your father has been fully recovered for 3 years. His medication costs $40 a month. 40, not 800. The room spun a little. November 2022. Your mom buys a new living room set, posts about it on Facebook. Thanks Ashley for helping pick it out. The set costs $4,000. Same month she told you the mortgage payment was killing them. He kept scrolling. Each line was a knife. Your mom visits Desert Rose Casino twice a month, minimum. I have photos, timestamps. She's there now, did you know that? Right now, while we're having this conversation about whether we can afford to have a baby. I couldn't speak. Tyler closed the laptop, took both my hands. I'm not telling you to cut them off. I'm not trying to control your money or make you choose between me and your family. But Rachel... His eyes were wet again. If we keep doing this, what does our daughter learn? That her mother is an ATM? That family means giving until you have nothing left? That love is measured in bank transfers? The truth hit me like a truck. What if I stop? I whispered. What if I tell her no and she hates me? What if she tells everyone I'm selfish, ungrateful, a terrible daughter? Then you'll know. You'll finally know what you're worth to her. We sat there on our broken couch in our tiny apartment, pregnant with our first child, drowning in the weight of 8 years of choices I'd been too afraid to examine. I need to think, I said finally. Okay. But Rachel, he squeezed my hands. Think about Emma. Think about what kind of life we want to give her. Think about whether you want her to grow up watching her mother disappear. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. $432,000. That was 36 years of gymnastics lessons, 20 years of family vacations, a college education with no loans, a wedding someday, fully paid for, a house with a backyard where Emma could play. All of it, gone, poured into a black hole that was never satisfied. I pulled up my phone, opened my messages with Mom, scrolled back through 8 years of conversations. Not once had she asked how I was doing. Not once had she asked about my work, my marriage, my life. Every conversation started the same way. Honey, I hate to ask, but... I started typing a message, deleted it, started again, deleted it. Finally settled on, Mom, we need to talk. Can you call me tomorrow? 3 minutes later, Sorry, sweetie, tomorrow is crazy busy. What's up? I stared at that response. She was never too busy to ask for money, but too busy to talk? Me. I'm pregnant. 30 seconds. Mom. Oh, Rachel, finally. Rachel. I was starting to worry you'd never give me grandchildren. How far along? Not congratulations. Not how are you feeling. Not what wonderful news. Finally. Like I'd been making her wait on purpose. Me. 6 weeks. Mom, I need to talk about the monthly amount I send. The 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Mom, can this wait? I'm out with friends. Me, it's important. With the baby coming, Tyler and I need to save. I was thinking maybe I could reduce to $2,000 for a while. No response for 5 minutes. 10, 15. Then, Mom, after everything we've sacrificed for you, Rachel, do you know what your father's medications cost? Do you have any idea how hard it is to keep our heads above water while you're off living your comfortable life with Tyler's money? Tyler's money. Like I wasn't the one working 70-hour weeks. Mom, you know what? Forget it. We'll figure it out ourselves, like we always do. Have a nice life with your perfect husband and your perfect baby. My hands were shaking so hard I nearly dropped the phone. Me. Mom, I'm not cutting you off. I just need to reduce the amount temporarily. Mom. No, it's fine. Ashley said this would happen. She said you'd use the baby as an excuse to abandon us. I defended you. I said my Rachel would never do that. I guess I was wrong. Tyler was reading over my shoulder. I felt him tense. Don't respond, he said softly. Not tonight. Sleep on it. But I couldn't sleep. I lay there thinking about Emma, about the daughter I didn't even know yet but already loved more than anything, about what I wanted her to learn from watching me. Did I want her to learn that love meant erasing yourself, that family meant suffering in silence, that no was a word you weren't allowed to say? Or did I want her to learn that she mattered, that her needs were valid, that people who loved her would want her to thrive, not just survive? At 3 a.m., I got up, went to the bathroom, pulled out that pregnancy test again, and looked at those 2 pink lines. Hi, Emma, I thought. I'm your mom, and I'm going to do better. Starting now. I went back to bed and finally slept. The next morning, I didn't reduce the amount, but I didn't forget that conversation either. I was 8 months pregnant when the universe decided to force my hand. The meeting ran late. Of course it did. Everything ran late when Marcus Chin was involved, our most demanding client and my biggest account. 3 hours of going over quarterly projections, budget revisions, contingency plans for scenarios that would probably never happen. By the time I walked out of the high-rise on 17th Street, it was 9:15 p.m. My back ached. My ankles were swollen. Emma, we'd finally settled on the name, was doing somersaults against my ribs like she was training for the Olympics. I texted Tyler from the parking garage. Finally done. Heading home. Love you. His response came immediately. Drive safe. I'll have your feet ready for rubbing. Love you more. I smiled despite the exhaustion. 4 months until we'd have a newborn and no sleep. I should appreciate these last quiet drives while I had them. The rain started as I pulled onto Broadway. Not a gentle drizzle, a full Colorado downpour, the kind that turned the roads into rivers and made your windshield wipers useless even on the highest setting. I slowed to 40, gripping the steering wheel tighter than necessary. The prenatal class instructor's voice echoed in my head. Stress isn't good for the baby. Try to stay calm. Right. Calm. I was 36 weeks pregnant, exhausted from a 3-hour meeting, driving through a monsoon at 9:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Calm. The intersection at Maple and 5th appeared through the rain-blurred windshield. My light was green. Had been green for a few seconds already. I eased off the brake, preparing to go through. I was thinking about that foot rub Tyler had promised, about the nursery we'd finally finished last weekend, pale yellow walls, white crib, that rocking chair we'd found at the estate sale, about whether I'd remembered to take my prenatal vitamin that morning. Normal thoughts. Safe thoughts. The thoughts you think when you don't know your entire life is about to split into before and after. The pickup truck came from the left. I didn't see it until it was already there. a blur of metal and headlights running the red light at what must have been 60 miles per hour. No hesitation, no brakes, just momentum and mass and terrible, inevitable physics. I had exactly enough time to think, no, then impact. The sound was everything at once. Metal screaming, glass exploding, my own voice making a noise I'd never heard before. The airbag deployed, slamming into my face and chest. Something cracked in my torso, multiple somethings. Pain, white hot and absolute, shooting through my left side. My car spun, the world outside the windows became a carousel of streetlights and rain and darkness. When it stopped, seconds later, minutes, I was facing the wrong direction. My Honda Civic crumpled like a discarded soda can. I couldn't breathe, tried to inhale and got fire instead of air. My ribs. Something was wrong with my ribs. My hands flew to my stomach, patting, searching, still round, still there. But was she moving? I couldn't tell. Everything hurt too much to tell. Emma, please. Move, kick, something. Through the shattered driver's window, I heard shouting, sirens in the distance getting closer, footsteps splashing through puddles. Ma'am, can you hear me? A face appeared. Young guy, early 20s, soaking wet, phone pressed to his ear. Yes, Maple and Fifth. Bad accident. She's pregnant. The car's totaled. I'm pregnant, I tried to say. Save her first. But no sound came out. More faces, more voices. Someone trying my door, jammed shut from the impact. The sound of metal tools, cutting, prying. We need to get her out now. The baby. Hands reaching in, careful but urgent, cutting through my seatbelt, supporting my neck. Ma'am, I need you to stay with me. Can you tell me your name? A cough, copper taste in my mouth, blood. Rachel, good. I'm Marcus, not my client Marcus. Different Marcus, paramedic Marcus. We're going to get you out, okay? Try not to move. They lifted me onto a backboard. Every movement was agony. The rain fell on my face, cold and somehow distant, like it was happening to someone else. I tried to speak again. Baby, is she… We're checking her now, Rachel. Stay with me. Look at my face. That's good. Keep your eyes open. The ambulance, bright lights, beeping machines, hands on my belly, urgent voices using words I couldn't process through the pain. Fetal heart rate dropping. BP's falling. Possible placental abruption. Get Dr. Rodriguez on the line. We need to prep for emergency C-section. No, it's too early. She's not ready. I'm not ready. Rachel, listen to me. A woman's voice now, firm but kind. Your baby is in distress. We need to deliver her as soon as we get to the hospital. Do you understand? I nodded, or tried to. The world was getting fuzzy at the edges. Is there someone we can call? Your husband? Tyler. I managed to get the word out. Seattle. Conference. We'll call him. You focus on staying awake for me, okay? But I was so tired, and breathing hurt, and everything was fading to gray. The last thing I saw was the paramedic's face, young and scared, trying to look confident. The last thing I thought was, Tyler. Someone tell Tyler I'm sorry. Tell Emma I'm sorry. Then, darkness. Tyler Morrison sat in his hotel room at the Seattle Marriott, staring at lines of code on his laptop that had stopped making sense 2 hours ago. The tech conference presentation he was supposed to give tomorrow morning, Innovative Solutions in Cloud Architecture, felt impossibly far away from his real priority, getting home to Rachel and their daughter-to-be. He checked his phone for the dozenth time. Rachel's last text was from 9:17. Finally done, heading home. Love you. That was almost an hour ago. Normally he'd expect a made-it-home safe text by now. But she'd looked exhausted this morning before he'd left for the airport. She was probably already asleep. His phone rang. Denver number he didn't recognize. Hello? Is this Tyler Morrison? A woman's voice, professional, serious. His stomach dropped. Yes, who is this? Mr. Morrison, this is Dr. Elena Rodriguez from Denver General Hospital. I'm calling about your wife, Rachel Morrison. The world stopped. Your wife has been in a serious motor vehicle accident. What? When? Is she… He was already standing, already looking for his suitcase, his shoes, anything. Is she alive? She's in surgery right now, emergency cesarean section. The accident caused trauma to her abdomen and the baby's heart rate was dropping. We had to deliver immediately. Tyler sat down hard on the edge of the bed. His wife was in surgery. His daughter was being born, and he was 1,000 miles away. The baby is in the NICU. She's stable but premature at 36 weeks, 4 pounds, 2 ounces. She's breathing on her own, which is a very good sign. She, his daughter, born. And Rachel? Multiple injuries, punctured lung, 3 broken ribs, internal bleeding. She's critical but stable. The surgical team is excellent, Mr. Morrison. She's in good hands. Tyler's hands were shaking so badly he nearly dropped the phone. I'm in Seattle. I can get there. He pulled up flights on his laptop with his free hand. The earliest flight is 6 a.m. I'll be there by 10 a.m. Denver time. I understand. Mr. Morrison, is there any family in the area who could be with the baby until you arrive? She's alone in the NICU right now. Alone. His newborn daughter, hours old, in a hospital, alone. Rachel's parents, they're in Denver. I'll call them right now. Thank you. When you arrive, ask for the surgical ICU on the 4th floor. I'll make sure the staff knows you're coming. The call ended. Tyler sat on the hotel bed, phone in hand, trying to remember how to breathe. His wife almost died. His daughter was born premature, and he wasn't there. He scrolled to Catherine Morrison in his contacts. Rachel's mother, 20 minutes from the hospital. She could be there in 20 minutes. The phone rang. Once, twice, 3 times, 4. Hello? Catherine's voice was cheerful, relaxed. In the background, electronic chimes, bells, the unmistakable sounds of slot machines. She was at a casino. Catherine, it's Tyler. He tried to keep his voice steady. Rachel has been in an accident. A gasp, sharp intake of breath. Oh my God. What happened? Is she okay? She's in surgery, emergency C-section. The baby was in distress from the trauma. The baby, you mean? Our daughter was born about an hour ago, premature. She's in the NICU. Tyler gripped the phone tighter. Catherine, I'm in Seattle. I can't get there for 8 hours. I need you to go to the hospital. Now, please. Your granddaughter is alone. Silence, long enough that Tyler checked to see if the call had dropped. Catherine? Tonight? Her voice had changed, cooler. Tyler, it's almost 10:30. He couldn't have heard that right. Yes, tonight, now. Rachel is in surgery and your granddaughter. I'm sure the hospital staff is taking excellent care of her. The slot machines chimed louder in the background. Are you at a casino right now? I'm having a girls' night out. Is that a crime? Defensive now. Tyler, I'm sure this seems very dramatic, but you know how Rachel is. She's always had a flair for... A truck hit her car. She has a punctured lung. They had to cut the baby out of her to save them both. His voice rose despite himself. This isn't dramatic, Catherine. This is an emergency. Well, I'm sure everything will be fine. Rachel is strong. She'll be okay. Will you go to the hospital or not? Another pause. More slot machines. Tyler, I made a commitment to Ashley to watch her cat this week. Whiskers gets very anxious when he's alone, and Ashley is on that cruise she's been planning for months. Tyler laughed. Actually laughed, because the alternative was screaming. You're not going to the hospital because of a cat. Don't take that tone with me. You married Rachel. She's your responsibility now, not mine. The words hit like a physical blow. Besides, Catherine continued, Rachel always has these emergencies. Remember 3 years ago when she thought she had appendicitis and it was just gas? Your sister Ashley never has these dramatic moments. Ashley is so organized, so put together. Maybe if Rachel wasn't always working late, she was driving home from work, someone ran a red light. I'm just saying if she'd left earlier, are you coming to the hospital or not? Tyler cut her off. A sigh, heavy with inconvenience. Call me tomorrow when things calm down. I'm sure it's all being blown out of proportion. The slot machines chimed again. Triumphant. Someone had won. Catherine had made her choice. Don't bother. Tyler said quietly. Don't bother calling tomorrow. Don't bother ever. He hung up before she could respond. For a long moment, he sat there in the hotel room, staring at nothing. His wife was in surgery. His daughter was hours old, alone in a NICU, and his mother-in-law had chosen a casino and a cat. He scrolled through his contacts, looking for someone, anyone who could help. His eyes landed on a name he'd saved months ago, just in case. Benjamin Hayes, Rachel's grandfather, the one she hadn't seen in years, the one Catherine always said didn't care about family. Tyler checked the time, 11:30 p.m. in Denver. He pressed call. 2 rings. Hello? The voice was alert, clear, not groggy despite the late hour. Mr. Hayes, this is Tyler Morrison, Rachel's husband. I'm sorry to call so late, but… What happened? Immediate concern. No hesitation. Tyler explained. The accident. The emergency C-section. Catherine's refusal. Silence on the other end. 5 full seconds of it. Then, I'm getting dressed. I'll be at the hospital in 30 minutes. Thank you. I'm catching the first flight out of Seattle, but I can't be there until… Tyler. Benjamin's voice was firm. Your daughter won't be alone. I promise you that. I'll call you with updates as soon as I see her. Mr. Hayes? Ben. Call me Ben. A pause. And Tyler? Thank you for calling me. I know Rachel probably… Thank you. The call ended. Tyler sat in the hotel room and let himself cry. Just for a minute. Just long enough to get it out. Then he opened his laptop and booked the 6 a.m. flight. Packed his suitcase with shaking hands. Set 3 alarms to make absolutely sure he wouldn't miss his flight. At 11:47 p.m., his phone buzzed. Unknown number. This is Benjamin Hayes. I'm at the hospital. I've seen Emma. She's beautiful, Tyler. 4 pounds of pure determination. The nurses say she's doing well. Rachel is still in surgery, but the doctor says she's holding steady. I'll stay until you get here. Both of them will have family with them. I promise. Tyler read that message 3 times, then typed back. Thank you. I'll be there as soon as I can. He looked at the time. 7 hours until his flight. 7 hours of waiting, helpless, 1,000 miles away from everything that mattered. He pulled up his photos, found the last one he'd taken of Rachel 3 days ago, laughing at something stupid he'd said, one hand on her belly, glowing with pregnancy and happiness. I'm coming, he whispered to the photo. Hold on, both of you, I'm coming. Benjamin Hayes had been a judge for 40 years. He'd heard testimony from murderers, had sentenced rapists, had presided over cases that would make most people lose faith in humanity. He'd learned to control his emotions, to present a calm exterior even when his blood was boiling. That training failed him now. He stood in his bedroom, phone still in his hand from Tyler's call, shaking with a rage so pure it was almost calming. His granddaughter, brilliant, kind Rachel, who he hadn't seen in 4 years because of Catherine's lies, was in surgery, fighting for her life. His great-granddaughter had been born premature, alone, because Catherine chose a casino over her own child. He'd waited too long. He'd been too cautious, too patient, too willing to give Catherine rope to hang herself, and Rachel had nearly died for his hesitation. No more. He dressed quickly, khakis, button-down shirt, blazer, grabbed his wallet, keys, phone, paused at his desk to retrieve a folder. The folder. 6 months of evidence carefully compiled. Then he made 3 calls. First, Janet Carmichael, his private investigator. Ben? It's almost midnight. I need everything on Catherine Morrison's activities tonight. GPS data, credit card receipts, security camera footage if you can get it. Everything. What happened? Rachel was in a car accident, emergency surgery. Catherine refused to come to the hospital because she's at Desert Rose Casino. Janet swore, colorfully. I'll have it to you by morning. Thank you. Second call. Richard Webb, his attorney. Ben, this better be good. Emergency will change. First thing Monday morning. I'm cutting Catherine's inheritance to the conditional minimum and I want documentation of cause. What's the cause? Abandonment of her critically injured daughter and newborn granddaughter in favor of gambling. I'll have evidence. Jesus, Ben. Can you do it? I'll have the papers ready. You're sure about this? I've never been more sure of anything. Third call. David Morrison, his son-in-law, Rachel's father. The phone rang 6 times. Finally, hello? Groggy. He'd been asleep. David, it's Benjamin. Rachel was in a car accident tonight. She's at Denver General in emergency surgery. The baby was born premature. Silence. Then, oh, God. Oh, God. Is she? The baby is stable. Rachel is critical, but the doctors are hopeful. Benjamin paused. Tyler called Catherine, asked her to come to the hospital. She refused. What? She's at Desert Rose Casino. Told Tyler that Rachel always has these emergencies and that it was his responsibility now. More silence. Benjamin could hear David breathing, could almost hear the man's world cracking apart. David, I need to know. Did you know about the money? The what money? Rachel has been sending Catherine $4,500 every month for 8 years. Did you know? A choked sound. How much? $432,000, give or take. Jesus Christ. David's voice broke. I knew we were getting money from somewhere. Catherine said it was from her bookkeeping clients. I should have asked more questions. Yes, you should have. Benjamin kept his voice level. But you can start asking them now. I'm going to the hospital. Rachel's daughter is alone in the NICU. I'll be there until Tyler arrives from Seattle. I'll come too. No, not tonight. Tonight I need you to do something else. Anything. I need you to record a conversation with your wife. Ask her about tonight, about the casino, about the money, about Rachel. And be honest with her. Tell her you're recording. Make it legal. Can you do that? Why? Because I'm changing my will on Monday and Catherine will fight it. I need evidence that stands up in court. And David? Benjamin's voice hardened. I need to know where you stand, with Catherine or with your daughter. David was quiet for a long moment. Then, with Rachel. I should have stood with her 8 years ago, but I'm standing with her now. Good. Record that conversation. Send it to me. Then get yourself into therapy before you try to see Rachel. She's going to need a father, not another person who let her down. I understand. Benjamin ended the call, grabbed his keys, drove to Denver General doing exactly the speed limit despite every instinct screaming at him to floor it. He was at the hospital by 12:15 a.m., went straight to the NICU on the 3rd floor. I'm here for Emma Morrison, he told the nurse at the desk. I'm her great-grandfather. The nurse, name tag read Maggie Thompson, smiled kindly. The baby born tonight? She's doing well. Let me get you authorized and you can see her. 5 minutes of paperwork. ID verification, hand washing. Then Maggie led him through a maze of hallways to a room full of clear plastic bassinets, each holding a tiny human connected to wires and monitors. Here she is. Emma Morrison was impossibly small. 4 pounds, 2 ounces of human being, wearing a diaper that looked 3 sizes too big and a tiny knit cap. Her eyes were closed. Her chest rose and fell with reassuring regularity. Benjamin Hayes, who had maintained composure through 4 decades of criminal trials, felt his eyes fill with tears. Can I touch her? Of course. Wash your hands again first, but yes. He did, then reached into the bassinet and let Emma's tiny hand wrap around his finger. Her grip was surprisingly strong. Hi, sweetheart, he whispered. I'm your great-grandpa Ben. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you needed me. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. Emma's hand tightened on his finger. Maggie stood nearby, smiling. She knows family when she feels it. Her mother, Rachel Morrison, she's in surgery. Do you know anything? Let me check. Maggie stepped out, returned 5 minutes later. Still in surgery, but stable. The doctor says another hour, maybe 2. Are you the only family here? Her husband is flying in from Seattle. Should land around 10 a.m. Benjamin hesitated. Her mother chose not to come. Maggie's expression didn't change, but something flickered in her eyes. Understanding, maybe, or judgment. Well, Emma has you. That's what matters. Benjamin stayed there for 3 hours, sat in the uncomfortable plastic chair beside Emma's bassinet, his finger in her tiny hand, watching her breathe. At 3:15 a.m., his phone buzzed. Text from David. I recorded the conversation. Catherine came home at 2 a.m., drunk, laughing about winning $300 at blackjack. I asked her about Rachel. She said, "Rachel will be fine. She's always fine." I told her I wanted a separation. She threw a vase at me. I'm at a hotel now. Recording attached. Benjamin opened the audio file. Listened to Catherine dismissing her daughter's near-death experience. Listened to her laughing. Listened to David finally standing up. At 3:47 a.m., a nurse appeared. "Mr. Hayes, Rachel Morrison is out of surgery. She's in recovery. It went well. She's stable." Benjamin closed his eyes. Thank God. She won't be conscious for several hours, but she made it through. Can I see her? Not yet, but soon. At 4:02 a.m., Benjamin sent Tyler an update. Rachel is out of surgery, stable. Emma is doing beautifully. I'm here with them both. Take your time getting here. They're safe. At 6:30 a.m., he watched the sunrise through the NICU window, Emma still holding his finger, and made a promise. I failed your mother by staying silent too long. I won't fail you, Emma. I promise. Whatever it takes, you and Rachel will never be alone again. Emma squeezed his finger, and Benjamin Hayes, retired judge, wealthy philanthropist, man who'd seen everything, started planning a reckoning. I woke up to pain, not all-consuming thanks to whatever drugs they had me on, but present, insistent, a reminder that I'd survived something I shouldn't have. Fluorescent lights, white ceiling, beeping machines, the smell of antiseptic and something else. Blood, maybe, or fear. A tube down my throat. I gagged, tried to cough, panic rising. "Mrs. Morrison, you're okay!" A nurse's face appeared above me. "Don't try to talk. You have a breathing tube. I'm going to get the doctor to remove it. Just try to stay calm." Calm. Right. My hands flew to my stomach. Flat. Empty. Wrong. The panic must have shown on my face because the nurse caught my hands gently. "Your baby is fine. Your daughter is in the NICU. She's small, but she's strong. 4 pounds, 2 ounces, breathing on her own. She's okay. Daughter, Emma, born." Tears leaked from my eyes. I couldn't stop them. "The doctor will be here in just a moment to remove the tube, okay? Then you can ask all your questions." She was right. 2 minutes later, a doctor appeared, Dr. Rodriguez, her name tag said, and began the uncomfortable process of removing the breathing tube from my throat. "This will feel very strange," she warned. "Try not to fight it." It felt like dying in reverse. But then it was out and I could breathe on my own. Painful, shallow breaths, but mine. "Welcome back, Rachel." Dr. Rodriguez smiled. "You gave us quite a scare. How are you feeling?" "Like I got hit by a truck," I rasped. My voice sounded like gravel. "Accurate assessment. Pickup truck, to be specific. You have 3 broken ribs, a punctured lung, which we've repaired, and some internal bleeding that we've addressed. You're going to be very sore for a while, but you're going to be fine." My baby is doing remarkably well. 36 weeks is early, but not dangerously so. She's in the NICU as a precaution, but her vitals are good. Would you like to see a photo? Please. Dr. Rodriguez pulled out a tablet, showed me a picture of a tiny human in a plastic bassinet. Impossibly small, impossibly perfect. Dark hair under a little pink cap. Eyes closed. I started crying again. She's beautiful. She is, and she's a fighter, just like her mom. Dr. Rodriguez squeezed my hand. Your husband is on his way from Seattle, should be here in a few hours. And your grandfather has been here all night. He's with the baby now. My grandfather? Confusion cut through the drugs. Benjamin? He said you might not expect him, but he's been here since midnight. Hasn't left Emma's side except to check on you. Grandpa Ben. Here, with Emma. My mother? I asked, even though I already knew. Dr. Rodriguez hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. No family besides your grandfather has come yet. Yet. Like it was still possible, like Catherine might still show up. What time is it? 2:30 p.m. The accident was last night around 9:45. 17 hours. My daughter was 17 hours old and my mother hadn't come. Can I see my phone? A nurse retrieved it from a bag of my belongings. Cracked screen but functional. 17 missed calls. My heart jumped. Maybe Catherine had tried. But no. The calls were from Tyler, from Benjamin, from numbers I didn't recognize. Hospital numbers, probably. 0 calls from Catherine. 0 texts. I scrolled to social media, clicked on Catherine's Facebook, her most recent post from 11:37 p.m. last night. A photo of a slot machine. Caption, "Lucky night with the girls, #blessed." Posted 2 hours after my accident, while I was in surgery. I stared at that photo until my eyes burned. "Mrs. Morrison?" The nurse touched my shoulder gently. "Can I get you anything?" "Yeah." I wiped my eyes. "Can you help me call someone? I need to hire a night nurse for the NICU." "A night nurse? Your grandfather has been—" "I know, but he's 78 years old. He needs to sleep. And I can't ask my mother." The words tasted like ash. "So, I need a professional. Someone who can stay with Emma while I'm recovering and Tyler is getting here." The nurse nodded slowly, understanding in her eyes. "I'll get you the number for the agency we recommend." 40 minutes later, I'd arranged it. Margaret Maggie Thompson, actually the same nurse who'd been helping Benjamin, agreed to stay on as Emma's private nurse until I was mobile enough to be with her myself. "Your grandfather is a good man," Maggie said over the phone. "He's been singing folk songs to Emma all morning. She seems to like his voice." Fresh tears. I was so tired of crying. "Thank you," I managed, "for taking care of her." "That's what we do here, honey. We take care of babies. Even when—" She trailed off. "Even when their grandmothers don't," I finished. "I didn't say that." "You didn't have to." After I hung up, I lay in the hospital bed staring at the ceiling, feeling something shift inside me, something fundamental and irreversible. For 8 years, I'd been sending Catherine $4,500 every month. For 8 years, I'd believed I was helping family. For 8 years, I'd been wrong. She'd chosen a casino over her dying daughter, over her newborn granddaughter. There was no coming back from that, no explanation that would make it okay, no apology that would erase it. I pulled up my banking app, navigated to the automatic transfers, found Catherine's name. My finger hovered over Cancel Transfer. Catherine's voice echoed in my head. "This is what daughters do. You're not like your sister. You're the strong one." Strong enough to be used, I thought. Strong enough to be bled dry. No more. I pressed cancel. A confirmation dialog appeared. "Are you sure you want to cancel this recurring transfer to Catherine Morrison, $4,500 per month?" "Yes," I whispered. "I'm sure." I clicked confirm. Transfer canceled successfully. No dramatic music, no lightning bolt, just a screen message and the weight of 8 years lifting off my chest. I did it again. Opened settings. Selected transfer security. Require password for all new external transfers. Require verification for transfers over $1,000. Lock all payee changes for 24 hours. Every security measure I could think of. Because I knew Catherine. She'd try to guilt me, manipulate me, make me think I was being cruel. I needed to make it hard for myself to give in. When I was done, I put the phone down and let myself breathe. Really breathe, despite the pain in my ribs. Free. For the first time in 8 years, I was free. A knock on the door. I looked up. Benjamin Hayes stood in the doorway. Tall even at 78, silver hair slightly mussed, eyes red from lack of sleep. He held a folder under one arm. "Grandpa?" I whispered. He crossed the room in 3 long strides and took my hand, the one without the IV. His grip was warm and steady and real. "Rachel, my God, Rachel, you came. Of course I came." His voice broke on the words. "Of course I came. I'm so sorry I wasn't here sooner. I'm so sorry. You're here now. That's what matters. He pulled the visitor's chair close to my bed, sat down heavily. I've been with Emma all night. She's perfect, Rachel. Absolutely perfect. She has your nose. I laughed. It hurt my ribs, but I couldn't help it. She's 3 hours old and you can already see that? I'm her great-grandfather. I'm allowed to make bold claims. He smiled. Then the smile faded. Tyler told me about Catherine. What she said. My chest tightened. Yeah. I'm so angry I can barely see straight. Join the club. But I'm also angry at myself. Benjamin squeezed my hand. I should have told you sooner, about the money, about what she was doing. I knew, Rachel. I've known for months. I stared at him. What? He opened the folder. Inside, bank statements. My bank statements. Transaction histories. Photos of Catherine at Desert Rose Casino, time-stamped and dated. Ashley's credit card bills. David's medical records. How long have you known? My voice was flat. 6 months. Since Catherine came to me asking me to change my will. He met my eyes. I hired a private investigator. I needed to know the truth. And you didn't tell me. I should have. God, Rachel, I should have told you immediately, but I was afraid you wouldn't believe me, that you'd defend her, that I'd push you further away. He looked down at our joined hands. I made the same mistake with your grandmother. I saw problems, stayed silent, hoped they'd fix themselves. She died before I could make it right. His voice cracked. I wasn't going to make that mistake again, but I waited too long anyway, and you almost died for it. I should have been angry, should have felt betrayed, but all I felt was tired. You're here now, I said again. That's more than I can say for my mother. She doesn't deserve you. She never did. We sat in silence for a moment. Then I asked the question I wasn't sure I wanted answered. How bad is it? The money situation? Benjamin showed me the summary page. 8 years of transfers. Every excuse Catherine had given. Every lie about medical bills and mortgages and Ashley's needs. $432,000. I'd known the number intellectually, but seeing it there, documented, proved, it hit different. Dad's medical bills? I asked. $40 a month for basic medication. He's been fully recovered for 3 years. The mortgage? They refinanced 4 years ago. Current payment is $1,200, not $1,800. And they're not behind. The refinance gave them better terms. Ashley's marketing course? Never enrolled, never even looked at one. Every lie, documented. Every manipulation, exposed. Where did the money go? I whispered. Benjamin showed me the casino logs. $2,000 a month average at Desert Rose, some months higher. Showed me Ashley's credit card statements, designer bags, concert tickets, spa days, all funded by Mom's help. Showed me Catherine's own spending, restaurants, retail, vacations I'd never heard about. She spent it all, I said. Every penny. Yes, and kept telling me they were drowning. Yes. I closed my eyes. I'm such an idiot. No. Benjamin's voice was fierce. You're kind. You're generous. You believed the best of people. That's not idiocy, Rachel. That's love. Love didn't save me $432,000. No, but it made you who you are. Don't let her take that from you. Another knock. We both looked up. David Morrison stood in the doorway. My father. Looking smaller than I remembered. Older, his face gray with exhaustion or guilt or both. Rachel, he said. I came as soon as I heard. I looked at Benjamin. He nodded slightly. I called him. He has something you need to hear. David entered slowly, like he was approaching a wild animal that might bolt. He held his phone in trembling hands. Rachel, He stopped, started again. I'm so sorry. For what? My voice was colder than I'd intended. For not coming to the hospital? For letting Mom drain me for 8 years? For which part exactly? He flinched. Deserved. All of it. Everything. I was a coward. You were. No point denying it. I knew about the money. Not how much, but I knew it was coming from somewhere. Your mother said it was from her bookkeeping work. I wanted to believe her because believing her was easier than confronting her. He sat in the second visitor's chair, across from Benjamin. Last night, after Tyler called your mother, she came home at 2 in the morning, drunk, happy. She'd won $300 at blackjack. His voice shook. I asked her about you, about the accident. She said, Rachel will be fine. She's always fine. That's what we raised her for. The words hit like a slap. I recorded it, David continued. I told her I was recording. I wanted it to be legal, made sure she knew. He held up his phone. Do you want to hear it? No, I didn't need to. I could imagine it perfectly. I told her I wanted a separation. She threw a vase at me. I'm staying at a hotel now. See, he looked at me, eyes wet. I should have done this 8 years ago. I should have protected you. Instead, I let you protect us. Yeah, I said, you did. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I want you to know, I'm done. I'm seeing a therapist, Dr. Claire Winters. I'm getting separated from your mother, and I'm going to try to be the father you deserved all along. That's great, Dad. My voice was still cold. Where was that father when I was working 70-hour weeks to pay Mom's casino bills? He nodded. He was a coward. He was weak. He was wrong. He met my eyes. He's trying to do better now, even though it's too late. Silence filled the room. Benjamin spoke quietly. Rachel, I'm not telling you to forgive him. That's your choice. But he did give me the recording. Evidence we'll need when Catherine contests the will. She's going to contest it? Absolutely. Which is why I'm changing it Monday morning, cutting her to the conditional minimum. I looked at David. And you're okay with that? Losing your inheritance? I'm not losing it. Ben's giving me 25% on the condition that I complete therapy, which I'm doing anyway. He leaned forward. Rachel, I don't care about the money. I care about making this right. You can't make this right. You can only do better going forward. Then that's what I'll do. We sat there, the three of us, in that sterile hospital room, 3 generations of broken family, trying to figure out how to be whole. Finally, I said, I canceled the transfers. This morning, all of them. David nodded. Good. Mom's going to lose her mind. Let her. His voice was firm, stronger than I'd heard it in years. You owed her nothing, Rachel. You gave her everything anyway. That debt is paid. Benjamin cleared his throat. There's one more thing you should know. Catherine will likely be here soon. I tensed. What? Why? Because I called her at 7 a.m. and told her that if she didn't come see you and Emma within 12 hours, she'd never be welcome again, and I mentioned that I was changing my will. He smiled grimly. She'll come, not out of love, out of damage control. I don't want to see her. You don't have to, but you should be prepared. As if summoned, my phone buzzed. Text from Catherine. Mom, sweetie, I'm so sorry I couldn't get there last night. The traffic was terrible, and by the time I heard about the accident, it was so late. I'm coming now. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I can't wait to meet my granddaughter. I showed the text to Benjamin and David. Traffic, David said flatly. She's going with traffic. She's going with whatever lie she thinks will work, Benjamin corrected. I looked at both of them. I don't want her touching Emma. Then she won't, Benjamin said. Tyler authorized me as Emma's medical guardian until he arrives. I can restrict visitors. Do it. He made a call to the NICU. This is Benjamin Hayes, temporary guardian for Emma Morrison. I need to add a restriction to the visitor list. Catherine Morrison is not permitted access. Yes, the mother's mother. No access whatsoever. Thank you. He hung up. Done. She's going to be furious. Good, David said. Let her be furious. You almost died, Rachel. Your daughter was born premature, and Catherine was at a blackjack table. She doesn't get to be furious. She gets to live with her choices. 20 minutes later, I heard raised voices in the hallway. Catherine had arrived, and she wasn't happy. I heard my mother before I saw her. What do you mean I can't see my granddaughter? I'm her grandmother. This is ridiculous. Catherine's voice carried down the hallway, that particular pitch she used when she wanted everyone to know she was being wronged. Performance volume. Benjamin stood. "I'll handle this." "No." I pushed myself up in bed, wincing at the pain in my ribs. "Let her come. I want to see her face." David moved to stand by the door. Benjamin stayed close to my bedside, both of them, protective, ready. The door burst open. Catherine Morrison swept in like she was making an entrance at a charity gala. Full makeup, hair styled, wearing a silk blouse I recognized from Ashley's Instagram last month. She'd dressed for this, prepared. "Rachel, oh my God, sweetie, I was so worried." She rushed toward my bed, arms outstretched. "Stop!" One word. Quiet, but absolute. She froze mid-stride. "Don't touch me." "Rachel, honey, I know you're upset, but I came as soon as I could." "You came 18 hours later." I kept my voice level, calm. "The accident was at 9:47 last night. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. The traffic was impossible and I didn't get Tyler's message until this morning. Tyler called you at 10:15 p.m. You answered. You were at a casino." Her face went pale, then pink. Then she pivoted. "I was having one night out with friends. Is that a crime? I'm allowed to have a life, Rachel." "Tyler told you I was in surgery, that Emma was born premature and alone in the NICU. He asked you to come to the hospital." I watched her face. "You said no." "I didn't say no, I said, you said I always have these emergencies. You said Tyler's sister never has these problems. You said I was his responsibility now." The quotes landed like stones. Catherine's mouth opened, closed. "How do you—" Tyler exaggerated. "He was upset. He didn't understand. You told him you couldn't come because you were watching Ashley's cat." My voice was still calm, eerily calm. "Ashley's cat, Mom. You chose a cat over your daughter in the ICU and your granddaughter in the NICU." Benjamin spoke from behind her. "Catherine, stop lying. We know everything." She spun to face him. "Dad, you don't understand. Rachel is being influenced by bank records, by medical documentation, by time-stamped photographs." He pulled out his phone, showed her something. "This is you at Desert Rose Casino at 11:37 p.m. last night, 2 hours after Rachel's accident, posting about your lucky night on Facebook." Catherine's face went white. "You were there for 3 more hours after that post," Benjamin continued. "You didn't leave until 2:30 a.m. Tyler's call came at 10:15. You could have been at the hospital by 10:45, but you stayed. You gambled. You won $300 and came home drunk and laughing. How do you're spying on me." "I'm protecting my granddaughter, something you failed to do." Catherine turned back to me and I saw her recalibrate. The tears came instantly, too instantly. "Rachel, please. I made a mistake. I was scared. I didn't know how serious it was. Tyler told you I had a punctured lung and broken ribs. He told you Emma was premature. What part of that wasn't serious?" "I thought he was being dramatic. You know how he gets." "No, Mom, I know how you get." I pulled up my phone, showed her the screen. "I canceled the transfers this morning, all of them. No more $4,500 a month." The tears stopped. Just stopped, like a faucet turning off. Her face changed. The mask dropped for just a second, and I saw something cold and calculating underneath. You can't do that. Rachel, your father needs that money, his medications." "Cost $40 a month," Benjamin said. "I have his medical records right here. The mortgage is $1,200, not $1,800, and you're not behind." Benjamin pulled out another document. "You refinanced 4 years ago. I have the paperwork." Catherine looked at David, who'd been silent by the door. "David, tell them how much we've been struggling." "We haven't," David said quietly. "Not really. Not the way you told Rachel we were." "You're turning on me too? After everything After everything you've done?" David's voice was stronger now. "You mean after you spent our daughter's money on casinos and designer bags for Ashley? After you let Rachel work herself to exhaustion while you got spa days and vacations? That money was a gift. Rachel gave it freely. Because you lied to her, I said. About Dad's stroke, about the medical bills, about the mortgage, about all of it. I never lied, You told me Dad needed expensive physical therapy. He's been cleared for 3 years. You told me the mortgage was killing you. You refinanced for better rates. You told me Ashley needed help with a marketing course. She never enrolled. Each statement was a hammer blow. Catherine flinched with each one. Where did the money go, Mom? All $432,000? She laughed. Actually laughed. Bitter and sharp. You counted? You actually counted every penny like I'm some kind of charity case you're auditing? I'm a financial analyst. Of course I counted. Well, congratulations, Rachel. You figured it out. Your poor mother needed help and you gave it. That's what daughters do for their parents. That's how family works. No, Benjamin said. Family doesn't work like that. Family doesn't manipulate. Family doesn't lie. Family doesn't choose blackjack over their dying child. Catherine whirled on him. You don't get to lecture me about family. You were never there for us. You chose your precious career over your own daughter. I tried to be there. You pushed me away. You told Rachel I didn't care about her, that I was too busy for family. You poisoned that relationship before it could start. Because you were judging me. You always judged me, just like you're doing now. I'm not judging you, Catherine. Benjamin's voice was steel. I'm holding you accountable. There's a difference. She turned back to me, desperate now. Rachel, please. I made mistakes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But you can't cut me off. I'm your mother. We're family. Family shows up, I said quietly. You didn't. I'm here now. 18 hours too late. I want to meet Emma. Please, Rachel, let me meet my granddaughter. Let me make this right. No. The word hung in the air like a gong. What? You're not meeting Emma. Not today. Not until I decide you've earned it. If I decide you've earned it. You can't keep me from my own granddaughter. Actually, I can, Benjamin said. Tyler gave me temporary medical guardianship until he arrives. I've already restricted your access to the NICU. Catherine's face twisted with rage. You turned my father against me. You turned my husband against me. Now you're keeping my granddaughter from me? No, Mom. You did this. You made these choices. This is the consequence. She stared at me like she'd never seen me before. You're really going to do this? After everything I've done for you? What have you done for me, Mom? Specifically, what have you actually done? Silence. You raised me, she finally said. I gave birth to you. I fed you, clothed you, kept a roof over your head. That's called being a parent. That's the bare minimum. That's not something I owe you for. I leaned forward despite the pain. I'm asking what you've done for me in the last 8 years, since I started sending you money. What have you given me besides guilt and manipulation? More silence. That's what I thought. Catherine grabbed her purse. Her hands were shaking. Fine, fine. You want to be this way? You want to cut off your own mother? Go ahead. But don't come crying to me when you need help. Don't call me when you realize you can't handle motherhood on your own. Don't expect me to be there when... I don't expect you to be there, I interrupted. I haven't expected that for a long time. I just finally stopped hoping. She looked at David one last time. Are you coming? No, he said. I'm staying here, with my daughter. Catherine's face crumpled. Real emotion, finally. But I couldn't tell if it was grief or rage or just the realization that she'd lost. You'll regret this, she said. All of you. You'll see. She left. The door closed behind her with a soft click. None of us moved for a long moment. Then David sank into a chair and put his head in his hands. I should have done that 8 years ago. Yeah, I said. You should have. I know. I'm sorry. Benjamin put a hand on my shoulder. How are you feeling? Tired, I said. And relieved. And sad. And free. All at once. That sounds about right. My phone buzzed. Tyler. Tyler. Landed. Getting a cab. Be there in 30 minutes. How are you? How's Emma? Me. We're okay, both of us. Your daughter is perfect, and we just had a family intervention. Tyler. What happened? Me. I'll tell you when you get here. But Tyler, thank you for calling my grandfather. He's been amazing. Tyler. He loves you. I could hear it in his voice when I called him. Me. I know. I should have called him myself years ago. Tyler. You're calling him now. That's what matters. See you soon. I love you. Me. Love you too. I looked at Benjamin. Tyler will be here in 30 minutes. Good. He should meet his daughter. Can I see her? Emma? Is there any way? Let me check with Dr. Rodriguez about getting you into a wheelchair. The NICU is only 2 floors down. 20 minutes later, they'd maneuvered me into a wheelchair. Excruciating process involving my broken ribs and punctured lung, but worth it. Benjamin pushed me down the hallway, David walking beside us. The NICU was hushed, soft lighting, gentle beeping of monitors, tiny humans in clear bassinets fighting to grow big enough to go home. And there, in bassinet number 7, was Emma, my daughter. 4 pounds, 2 ounces of perfect, dark hair under a pink cap, tiny fingers curled into fists, eyes closed, dreaming baby dreams. Oh, I breathed. Oh, Emma. Maggie, the NICU nurse, smiled. Want to hold her? Can I? Absolutely. Let's get you settled. They helped me into the rocking chair, careful of my injuries. Then Maggie lifted Emma, so small, so impossibly small, and placed her in my arms. The world stopped. Everything, the pain, the betrayal, the exhaustion, Catherine, the money, all of it, just stopped. There was only this, my daughter in my arms, warm and real and alive. Hi, baby girl, I whispered. Hi, Emma. I'm your mama. I'm sorry I couldn't be here when you were born. I'm sorry for so many things. But I'm here now, and I promise, you will never wonder if you're loved. You will never question your worth. You will never feel like you have to earn your place in this family. Emma's hand found my finger, gripped tight. You're enough, I said. Just as you are. You're enough. Behind me, I heard David make a choked sound. Benjamin's hand on my shoulder, steady and warm. She looks like you, Benjamin said. Same nose, same determined chin. She's going to be stubborn, I said. Good. The world needs more stubborn women. The NICU door opened. Tyler burst through, wild-eyed and frantic, still wearing his conference lanyard and wrinkled button-down shirt. Rachel! He saw us, stopped, his wife in a wheelchair, holding their daughter, his face crumpled. Tyler, I said softly, come meet Emma. He crossed the room in 3 strides, dropped to his knees beside the rocking chair, looked at our daughter with absolute wonder. She's so small. 4 pounds, 2 ounces, small but fierce. She's perfect. He touched Emma's hand with one gentle finger. Hi, sweetheart. I'm your daddy. I'm sorry I wasn't here. I'm so sorry. You're here now, I said, echoing Benjamin's words. That's what matters. Tyler looked at me. Really looked. Took in the bruises, the pallor, the way I was holding myself carefully against the pain. Are you okay? Getting there. He kissed my forehead, then Emma's, then looked at Benjamin and David. Thank you, both of you, for being here. Always, Benjamin said. David nodded, too emotional to speak. We sat there, the 5 of us, in that quiet NICU, 3 generations of broken family, trying to build something better. And Emma, tiny Emma, who'd brought us all back together by simply existing. What happened with Catherine? Tyler asked quietly. Later, I said. Right now, I just want to be here. With you. With Emma. With the people who showed up. Okay. He settled on the floor beside the rocking chair, his hand on my knee, his eyes on our daughter. Okay? And for the first time in 8 years, maybe the first time in my life, I felt completely, absolutely certain that I was exactly where I was supposed to be, with the family I'd chosen, and the family who'd chosen me back. The meeting was brief. Clinical. Richard Webb laid out the new will structure while Catherine's certified letter sat unopened on his desk. She'd refused to sign for it, forcing the courier to leave it at her new apartment. 60% to Emma, 25% to David, contingent on therapy. 10% to Catherine, contingent on treatment. 5% to Ashley, contingent on employment. She'll contest this, Richard warned. Let her try, Benjamin said. We have documentation, bank records, medical files, witness statements, Tyler's recorded phone call, David's recording, the baby monitor audio from the party. What party? I asked. Benjamin smiled. I'm getting ahead of myself. But trust me, Rachel, we'll be ready. David signed his acknowledgement, agreed to continue therapy, agreed to the conditions. I'm not doing this for the money, he said quietly. I'm doing it because I should have done it anyway. As we left the office, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Hello? Rachel? It's Ashley. I stopped walking. Tyler looked at me concerned. Ashley? I'm not calling to defend Mom. I'm not calling to ask for anything. I needed you to know something. What? I got a job. Nordstrom in the shoe department. It's just retail, but it's something. It's mine. She paused. And I started therapy. Dr. Winters, the one Dad's seeing. She's helping me understand how messed up our family is. I didn't know what to say. I'm not asking for forgiveness, Ashley continued. I don't deserve it. But I wanted you to know I'm trying. For the first time in my life, I'm actually trying. Why now? Because Dr. Winters asked me a question I couldn't answer. She asked, when you're old and look back at your life, who do you want to be? And I realized I don't want to be Mom. I don't want to end up alone, wondering why nobody loves me. Silence, then, good luck, Ashley. Thank you. And Rachel? Congratulations on Emma. I saw the pictures Dad sent. She's beautiful. She hung up before I could respond. Tyler raised an eyebrow. Ashley? Ashley's trying to change. Do you believe her? I don't know, but I'm willing to wait and see. We walked to the car. Tyler drove us home, our apartment, though we'd been looking at houses online. Emma slept in her car seat, oblivious to the adult drama swirling around her. 1 more month until the party, Tyler said. You still think we should do it? I think you need closure. One way or another, you need to know if Catherine can change, or if she's just performing again. And if she's performing, then you'll know, finally, completely, and you can move on. I looked at Emma in the rearview mirror. Yeah, okay, let's do the party. Tyler squeezed my hand. Whatever happens, we'll handle it together. Together, I agreed. And I meant it. The closing documents sat on our new kitchen table, a real kitchen table, solid oak, the kind that would last decades. I signed my name one last time, Rachel Morrison. Congratulations, the title company representative said, sliding the keys across the table. You're officially homeowners. Tyler and I looked at each other, grinned like idiots. Our house. Actually ours. 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, small backyard with a maple tree, unfinished basement full of potential. In a neighborhood with good schools and sidewalks where people walked their dogs. Nothing fancy, nothing extravagant. Perfect. Thank you, I said, taking the keys. They were warm in my palm. Real. Solid. After the representative left, Tyler swept me into a hug, careful of Emma, who was strapped to my chest in her carrier, 9 months old now and curious about everything. We did it, he whispered into my hair. We did. 4 months. We saved the down payment in 4 months. Because we weren't sending $4,500 to Catherine every month. Because money that should have been ours finally was. The math was simple, brutal, clarifying. $4,500 per month times 6 months equals $27,000. Plus, our existing savings equals $58,000. Plus Benjamin matching our contributions to Emma's college fund equals $25,000. Down payment on the house equals $85,000. We'd closed with money left over, had an emergency fund, had retirement accounts that were actually funded. For the first time in my adult life, I could breathe financially. "Want to go see it again?" Tyler asked. "The house? We were just there yesterday." "I know, but it's ours now. That's different." He was right. It was different. We drove across town, Emma babbling happily in her car seat, practicing her consonants. Ba ba ba, da da da. "She's so close to saying Dada," Tyler said. "Don't get your hopes up. Babies usually say Mama first." "We'll see." The house looked the same as yesterday. Small, neat, slightly dated but well maintained. The lawn needed mowing. The shutters needed painting, but it was ours. Tyler unlocked the door. We stepped into the empty living room, our footsteps echoing on hardwood floors. "Emma's room will be the one facing the backyard," I said, pointing. "Good light, quiet side of the house. And we can convert the basement into a playroom eventually, when she's bigger. Office for you downstairs? Or for you. You're the one doing freelance consulting on top of your regular job." I'd started taking consulting clients again, but on my terms this time. Evenings and weekends I wanted to work. Not every moment I could scrape together, building something for us, not funding someone else's casino habit. Emma reached for Tyler. "Da, da, da." His face lit up. "Did she just—" "Don't count it. She says da to everything. The ceiling fan, her stuffed elephant, the mailman. Still counts." He took her from the carrier, lifted her high. "That's right, Emmy. Dada. I'm your Dada." She giggled, grabbed his nose. My phone buzzed. "Benjamin. Grandpa Ben, are you at the new house? I'm stopping by with a housewarming gift. Be there in 10. Me. "We're here. Door's unlocked." Grandpa Ben. "Leaving it unlocked in a new house. What would the security consultant say?" Me. "That I'm expecting my grandfather in 10 minutes. True to his word, Benjamin arrived exactly 10 minutes later. He carried a large box and wore his weekend uniform, khakis, polo shirt, boat shoes that had never seen a boat. "Grandpa!" I hugged him. He'd become a fixture in our lives these past 6 months. Sunday breakfasts had turned into Sunday breakfasts, and Wednesday dinners, and random afternoon visits when he happened to be in the neighborhood. We all knew he lived 30 minutes away. We all pretended his visits were spontaneous. "Let me see this palace you've purchased." He walked through the empty rooms, nodding approval. "Good bones, solid foundation. The roof will need replacing in 5 to 7 years, but that's manageable." "How do you know that?" "I had my contractor friend look at it before you made the offer. Hope you don't mind." "Grandpa, I wasn't going to let you buy a money pit. The inspection was good, but I wanted a second opinion." He waved off my protest. "You would have done the same thing if you weren't emotionally invested." He was right. I would have. "The box?" Tyler asked. "Ah, yes." Benjamin set it on the kitchen counter. "A few things for your new home." Inside, a set of real wine glasses. Our old ones were plastic from Target. A pasta maker. Every home needs one, Benjamin insisted. A first aid kit, practical. A fire extinguisher, more practical. And at the bottom, wrapped in tissue paper, a framed photograph. I pulled it out carefully. The photo was old, black and white, slightly faded. A woman in her 30s, laughing at the camera, holding a baby. "That's your grandmother, Margaret," Benjamin said softly. "And that baby is your mother, Catherine, age 6 months." I stared at the photo, at Margaret's genuine smile, at baby Catherine, innocent and unaware of who she'd become. "Why?" I asked. "Because Emma should know where she came from, all of it, the good and the bad." Benjamin touched the frame gently. "Your grandmother was a wonderful woman, kind, brilliant, strong. She saw through Catherine's manipulations early on, tried to set boundaries. I thought she was being too harsh." His voice grew quieter. "She died trying to fix a relationship that couldn't be fixed. I don't want you to make that mistake, but I also don't want Emma to grow up thinking her entire maternal line was toxic. Margaret was good. You're good. That matters." I hugged him, careful not to crush the frame. "Thank you. There's one more thing." He pulled an envelope from his jacket. "From my attorney, your portion of the trust paperwork. It's all official now. The will, the 60%, The $2.5 million that would be Emma's when she turned 18, mine to manage until then. I still think it's too much. It's what you deserve. What Emma deserves. He squeezed my shoulder. Use it well. Build something good. That's all I ask. Emma reached for him. Ga, ga, ga. Benjamin took her with practiced ease. That's right, sweetheart. Grandpa. Almost there. She's saying gaw to everyone, Tyler said. Don't get too excited. Nonsense. She clearly means me. We spent the next hour discussing renovation plans. Benjamin had opinions on everything. Where to put shelving, which walls were load-bearing, whether we should refinish the hardwood or put in new flooring. I have a confession, he said as we locked up to leave. I've been working on my memoir, the final chapter. The Case of Family, I remembered. Yes, and I'd like you to co-write it with me, if you're willing. Grandpa, I'm not a writer. You're a storyteller. You understand numbers, patterns, systems. And you lived this story. Who better to help me tell it? I looked at Tyler. He nodded. Could be therapeutic, and Emmy would love having a book written by her great-grandpa and mom. Okay, I agreed. Let's do it. Benjamin smiled. Excellent. We start next week. Sunday breakfast and writing session. Benjamin arrived at our apartment. We hadn't moved into the house yet, waiting for paint and minor repairs, with bagels from Rosenberg's and the good cream cheese. Emma shrieked with delight when she saw him. She'd started doing that, recognizing people, showing preference. Benjamin was firmly in her top 3, along with Tyler and me. Good morning, Emma Bean. He scooped her up. Ready for chess lessons? She's 9 months old. Never too early. He settled into his designated chair. We'd bought a good reading chair just for his visits, and set up the travel chess set on the side table. Emma immediately grabbed the queen and tried to eat it. Excellent strategy, Benjamin said. Eliminate the most powerful piece first. While he taught Emma chess, I made coffee and Tyler handled breakfast. Our Sunday routine, established over 6 months, comfortable as old shoes. How's David doing? Benjamin asked. Good, actually. He came to dinner Wednesday, brought Emma a stuffed giraffe. How was it? Awkward at first, but he's trying. He asks permission before holding her, doesn't overstay, respects boundaries. Progress. Yeah. I set coffee mugs on the table. He's been in therapy for 7 months now. Dr. Winters says he's doing the work. And Catherine? The question hung in the air like smoke. No contact since the party. I heard from Dad she's still with that friend, still working at the dental office. I shrugged. I don't think about her much anymore. It was true. The anger had faded to indifference. Catherine had become someone I used to know, not someone who actively hurt me. She never entered treatment, Benjamin said. The 90 days expired last month. Her portion of the will went to Denver Domestic Violence Services as specified. How much? $420,000. They were very grateful. I did the math. Almost exactly what I'd sent Catherine over 8 years. Cosmic justice, maybe. And Ashley? Still at Nordstrom. Got promoted to department supervisor last month. Still in therapy. She sent Emma a Christmas present, children's poetry book. I sent a thank you text. Are you considering reconciliation? I'm considering not slamming the door completely. That's different from reconciliation. I sipped my coffee. Dr. Winters says Ashley's making real changes. But real changes take time to prove, so I'm waiting. Wise. Emma dropped the chess queen, grabbed the knight. Ba! 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 She's very aggressive in her opening moves, Benjamin noted seriously. Tyler laughed. She gets that from Rachel. We spent the morning like that. Coffee, bagels, baby babble, easy conversation. Around 11, Benjamin pulled out his laptop. Ready to work on the memoir? What's this chapter about? Regret. Specifically, the regret of silence. I stayed silent when I should have spoken up about Catherine. You stayed silent when you should have questioned the money. He looked at me over his reading glasses. What would you tell someone in your situation? Someone being financially manipulated by family? I thought about it. Really thought. I'd tell them to ask questions. Not accusatory questions, just clarifying ones. Can I see the medical bills? Can we meet with Dad's doctor together? Can you show me the mortgage statement? I paused. Because if they're telling the truth, they'll show you. And if they're lying, they'll get defensive. Either way, you'll know. Benjamin typed, "Good. What else?" I'd tell them that guilt is not the same as love. If someone makes you feel guilty for having boundaries, they're manipulating you, not loving you. More typing. And I'd tell them, my voice caught. I'd tell them it's okay to choose themselves, that putting on your own oxygen mask first isn't selfish. It's survival. Benjamin stopped typing, looked at me. That's beautiful, Rachel. Can I use that exact phrasing? It's your book. It's our book now. We worked for 2 hours. Benjamin asked questions. I answered. He wrote. I edited. Tyler kept Emma entertained, occasionally chiming in with his perspective. By 1 p.m., we had a solid draft of the chapter. This is good, Benjamin said, reading it back. This is really good? When will the book be done? Another few months. I'm shopping it to publishers in the spring. Literary agent thinks there's strong interest, family dynamics, financial abuse, redemption. It hits a lot of marketable themes. And the proceeds? Split 3 ways, 1/3 to me, 1/3 to you, 1/3 to a foundation I'm setting up for financial literacy education. He smiled. We'll teach people how to spot manipulation, how to set boundaries, how to not become you. Or Catherine, especially Catherine. Emma chose that moment to knock over the chess set, pieces scattered everywhere. Checkmate, Benjamin declared. Emma wins again. I was working from home. My company had agreed to permanent hybrid schedule after Emma was born. When my phone rang, unknown number, Denver area code. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Rachel? It's Ashley. I sat up straighter. Hey, what's up? Can we meet? For coffee or something? I have something to tell you and I don't want to do it over the phone. My stomach clenched. Is everything okay? Everyone's fine. It's not bad news, I need to tell you something in person. Please? Against my better judgment. Okay. When? Today? I have a break at 3. There's a coffee shop near your office. I'm working from home. How about the Starbucks on Colfax and Madison? Perfect. 3 o'clock? I'll be there. I hung up and immediately called Tyler. Ashley wants to meet. That's unexpected. What does she want? She wouldn't say. Says it's not bad news, but she needs to tell me in person. Want me to come with you? No, I should do this alone. I paused. But be on standby in case I need an emergency exit call. You got it. Text me when you're there and when you're leaving. At 2:50, I walked into the Starbucks. Ashley was already there, sitting at a corner table, wearing her Nordstrom name tag and looking nervous. She'd changed. Not dramatically, but noticeably. Less makeup, simpler clothes, hair in a ponytail instead of Instagram perfect waves. She looked real. Rachel, thank you for coming. D? She stood awkwardly, like she wasn't sure whether to hug me. We didn't hug. I sat across from her. You want coffee? She asked. I'm good. What did you want to tell me? Ashley took a breath. I'm moving to Portland next month. Oregon? Yeah. Nordstrom offered me a position at their flagship store. Better pay, more responsibility, and… She twisted her coffee cup. Distance from Mom. She's been contacting you? Constantly. Calls, texts, showing up at my apartment. She wants me to convince you to talk to her, to tell Benjamin you forgive her, to fix everything. Ashley met my eyes. I told her no, multiple times. But she won't stop. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's not your fault. She pulled out her phone, showed me a text thread. Mom. Ashley, you need to talk to Rachel. This has gone on long enough. Ashley. No, Mom. I'm not doing that. Mom. I'm your mother. You owe me. Ashley. I don't owe you anything. Rachel doesn't owe you anything. Mom. After everything I've done for you, the clothes I bought you, the trips, the support? Ashley. You mean the money you took from Rachel and spent on me? That support? Mom. How dare you? I'm cutting you off. Ashley. You already did. I have a job now, remember? The thread continued, Catherine getting angrier, Ashley holding firm. I'm proud of you, I said quietly. Ashley looked up, surprised. Really? Really, that's not easy. Dr. Winters says I need to establish my own identity separate from Mom, that moving to Portland is healthy. She put her phone away. But I wanted to tell you in person and to ask, would it be okay if I sent Emma birthday cards? From Portland? Nothing big, just, I want her to know she has an aunt who's trying to do better. I thought about it, really considered it. Okay, cards are fine, but Ashley, if you want a relationship with Emma eventually, you need to prove you've changed. Not to me, to yourself, for yourself. I know. That's why I'm moving. Portland is a fresh start. No mom, no old friends who enable me, no history, just me figuring out who I am. Good luck. Thanks. She stood to leave, then paused. Rachel, I know I don't deserve to ask this, but is Emma okay? Healthy? I pulled out my phone, showed her a recent photo. Emma at 9 months, sitting up, grinning at the camera with 2 bottom teeth showing. Ashley's eyes filled with tears. She's beautiful. She is. I'm sorry for everything. For all the years I took without thinking about where it came from. For believing Mom when she said you were fine, that you didn't mind helping, for being selfish and spoiled and… Ashley! I stopped her. I accept your apology, but the person you really need to apologize to is yourself. You were a kid when this started. Mom raised you to be dependent. You're unlearning that now. Give yourself credit. She wiped her eyes. Dr. Winters says the same thing. Dr. Winters is right. We left the coffee shop together, stood awkwardly in the parking lot. Will you tell me how the Portland move goes? I asked. Really? Yeah, text me when you get there. Let me know you made it safe. Ashley smiled. A real smile, not the Instagram performance smile. Okay, I will. I watched her drive away and felt something unexpected. Hope. Not hope that we'd be close sisters someday, but hope that she'd figure out who she was, that she'd break the cycle. That was enough. Benjamin's memoir, Lessons from the Bench, a judge's reflection on justice, family, and finding truth, launched on a Tuesday. The final chapter, The Case of Family, told our story. Names changed for privacy, but anyone who knew us would recognize it. The book got good reviews, strong sales. Benjamin was invited to do podcasts, interviews, speaking engagements. They want you too, he told me over Sunday breakfast. For the interviews. They want to hear from you. I don't know, Grandpa. Think about it. We could help people. People in your situation, being manipulated by family. People who need permission to choose themselves. Tyler looked up from where he was feeding Emma mashed banana. She's right, though. Rachel should think about it. Public storytelling is intense. I know, no pressure. Benjamin sipped his coffee. The offer is there if you want it. I thought about it for 2 weeks, then said yes. We did 3 podcasts together, 2 radio interviews, 1 TV segment for a local morning show. Each time I told the story. 8 years. $432,000. A mother who chose a casino over her dying daughter. And each time, I got messages. Thank you for sharing. My sister has been doing this to me for years. I needed to hear this. I've been supporting my parents for a decade, and they've never said thank you. You gave me permission to say no. Thank you. The messages made it worth it, made the vulnerability worth it. Emma's first birthday party was nothing like the 2-month celebration. This time, smaller, intimate. Just the people who mattered. Tyler's parents flew in from Portland. Benjamin, of course. David came, brought a thoughtful gift, a savings bond for Emma's college fund. No Catherine, no drama. Emma smashed cake into her hair, delighted everyone with her 4-word vocabulary. Mama, Dada, Gaga for Grandpa, and uh-oh, and fell asleep before we finished opening presents. It was perfect. After everyone left and Emma was in bed, Tyler and I sat on our back porch, our house now, lived in for 3 months, and looked at the stars. 1 year, he said. 1 year. You almost died. But I didn't. Emma was born 3 months early. 4 weeks early, and she's fine, better than fine. She's thriving. We bought a house. We did. Your grandfather wrote a best-selling memoir. He did. Ashley moved to Portland and is apparently doing well. According to her monthly check-in texts, yes. And Catherine is not our problem anymore. Tyler pulled me close. Are you happy? I thought about it. Really thought about it. 1 year ago, I'd been drowning, working 70-hour weeks to fund someone else's lifestyle, married but unable to build a life with my husband, pregnant but terrified we couldn't afford it. Now, homeowner, mother, co-author, financial consultant with actual savings, daughter with a grandfather who showed up. Yeah, I said. I'm happy. Are you? Extremely, though I could do without the 3 a.m. wake-up calls from our daughter. She's teething. It's temporary. Everything with babies is temporary. That's the blessing and the curse. We sat in comfortable silence, listening to night sounds, crickets, distant traffic, our neighbors' wind chimes. I got a letter today, I said, from Catherine's attorney. Tyler tensed. What? Contesting the will, claiming undue influence on Benjamin, elder abuse, the whole thing. Shit, are you okay? I'm fine. Benjamin's attorney says it won't go anywhere. We have too much documentation, but it means depositions, maybe court appearances. We'll handle it. Yeah, we will. I leaned into him. The old me would have been terrified, would have felt guilty, would have wondered if I was being too harsh. And the new you? The new me knows that Catherine made her choices. She's living with the consequences, and that's not my responsibility to fix. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Unknown. Hi, Rachel. This is Maggie Thompson from Denver General NICU. I don't know if you remember me, but I was one of Emma's nurses last year. I wanted to reach out because I'm writing a book about NICU families, and I'd love to interview you about your experience. Would you be open to that? I stared at the message. Everything okay? Tyler asked. Yeah, just... I showed him the text. More storytelling opportunities? You don't have to say yes. I know. I typed a response. Hi, Maggie, I remember you. You were wonderful with Emma. I'd be happy to talk. When works for you? Why did you say yes? Tyler asked. Because someone else might need to hear it. Someone else might be in a NICU, alone, wondering if their family will show up. And maybe my story will help them realize that sometimes the family who shows up isn't the one you expect. Fair enough. We went inside, checked on Emma, sprawled in her crib, stuffed elephant clutched tight, completely at peace. I stood there watching her breathe, this miracle of a human who'd survived being born too early, who'd spent her first night on Earth with a great-grandfather she'd never met instead of a grandmother who should have been there. I'm going to tell her the whole story someday, I said quietly, when she's old enough, about the money, about Catherine, about the accident, all of it. Why? Because I want her to understand that love isn't about blood, it's about showing up, and that choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Tyler wrapped his arms around me from behind. She's lucky to have you as a mom. She's lucky to have us both. True. We stood there, watching our daughter sleep, in our house, in our life that we'd built from honesty instead of obligation. And I thought about the $432,000 one more time. I could be bitter, could spend my life angry about what I'd lost, or I could be grateful for what I'd gained. Clarity, boundaries, self-respect, the knowledge that I was worth more than what I could give. And Emma would grow up watching a mother who knew her own worth, who said no when she needed to, who chose herself without apology. That was worth more than any amount of money. That was priceless. The backyard was full of toddlers and patient adults. Emma's little friends from preschool ran around chasing bubbles while their parents drank coffee and made small talk. Benjamin sat in his designated lawn chair, we'd bought it specifically for him, reading a picture book to a cluster of kids who'd abandoned the chaos for story time. David was at the grill with Tyler, the two of them laughing about something. Their relationship had grown easier over time, not father-son exactly, but friendly, respectful. My phone buzzed. Text from Ashley in Portland. Ashley, happy birthday to my niece. Sending her present tomorrow. I know I'm late. How's the party? Me, chaotic and perfect. How's Portland? Ashley, good. Got promoted to assistant manager. And I met someone. Her name is Jordan. It's early, but I'm happy. Me, that's wonderful, Ash. Really. Ashley, maybe we could visit sometime? If that's okay, I'd love for Jordan to meet Emma. Me, let me think about it, but maybe. Yeah, maybe. I put my phone away and watched Emma command her small empire of 3-year-olds. She was bossy, fearless, determined, everything I'd hoped she'd be. She caught me watching and ran over. Mama, come play! I'm coming, baby. She grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the bubble machine, and I thought, this is what I was working toward without knowing it. Not perfection. Not a fairy tale ending where everyone reconciles and lives happily ever after. Just this. Sunday afternoon in my backyard, surrounded by people who chose to be here, who showed up, who stayed, who loved Emma for who she was, not what she could give them. Family wasn't blood. Family was this, and it was more than enough.